Ninja Arts.
Welcome back. Okay, before we dive into this option, make sure you've watched part 1 and part 2 of the Sloth on this channel. Otherwise, this might look a little complicated or just weird. But I promise if you watch those videos, it will all make a lot more sense if you're not familiar already with this kind of stuff. Okay, so what Mark is doing here is I had him tangled up in the basic sloth position. So he's going to do, or he did, what most good grapplers are going to do, which is to shift his hips. That's probably the main thing they're going to feel is available there for an experienced grappler like Mark. So he gets into this kesa or scissor leg type position. And I'm going to be feeding his arm behind his back and doing a reversal. So let's take it from the top here. I've got the sloth position, my leg is up, got the sort of meat hook grips, and if nothing else, we've kind of gotten into a stalemate, so he feels obligated to do something. Notice how my legs just drop, so I kind of have my knees up in the air and I drop my legs toward my opponent, and that uses the weight of my legs and hips to help me easily turn onto my side. At the same time, my left arm up top there was holding his head, and it shot through behind the neck to a meat hook on the inside of his left armpit. The other hand was checking his bicep, so he can't punch or anything like that, but then eventually slides to the wrist. And a lot of times here, I don't really have to force that arm back all that much. A lot of times they'll try to pull away, and it kind of puts their arm in a sweet spot for you. So once I hand it off, I'm grabbing the wrist with the left hand. Now I've handed it behind his back. The other hand's checking his wrist just to make sure he can't break out until I kind of get it back past the plane of his side, a little more toward his back. Then I will only need one hand to do the reversal. So now just my left hand is holding his wrist. He's kind of wincing, trying to force his way out, but it's actually very difficult. And then I'll pull him over to the other side, and we'll check it out from another angle to see some finishes. So the basic sloth position, hooking my opponent down on me on purpose as a strategy. Might be a reversal of strategies for some of you guys, but try this out. So my legs drop, turning toward him. My hand just slides through pretty easily. As soon as they do the scissor leg, just turn toward them, shooting the hand through, checking the arm, and then I pass this behind the back. Some of you guys, I'm sure, if you've been grappling for a while, you've seen this kind of stuff from the guard, using your hand or even your foot to hook their arm behind their back. And in case I ever forget to, or in case I have forgotten to mention this, I don't know that I mentioned it on the previous videos, all this sloth game, the whole thing pretty much, has an equivalent in your regular closed guard. So try that out. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But let me jump back to this real quick. So I usually scoop the leg, as you saw there. You can push this way or that way. But I have my reasons for scooping under the leg like this. That right hand is going to find its way onto the front of the other thigh. So let's check it out from this angle. So always keep your leg up, or both legs. I usually prefer this method. Just kind of make a frame using the ground to secure your legs, your knees pressing into them. Okay, so I turn, I reach through with the left arm, doing everything we talked about. And then we're using this angle so you can see the finish, what I'm doing with his leg. So I pull him over, just turning to the other side, hook. My right hand's going to find the front of his other thigh, and I can really pull that and twist him up like a pretzel. And I'm just doing it nice and light there, but it's pretty uncomfortable. Okay, so that's enough for that one. The bonus move I'm throwing in here is actually a move we could have done before that last move because it's a little more simplistic. But the other one, if you can get it, it's just like a game over situation. So it's probably the best one to get. This one is more of a simple reversal where I didn't switch to grabbing his wrist. I just used that initial meat hook on the inside of the armpit to pull him over. Sometimes they'll let you do that. If they're really dug in on the pin, though, what I'm going to show you here is if you're good at timing things, you want to do this timing move. So Mark's going to unscissor his legs. The second he starts to unscissor his legs because he's stuck, he wants to go back to a different position, I just yank on his armpit. And it's a lot like when you're doing a hip throw. It's that weightless feeling. So they're weightless when they're switching their legs back. Most of the time. I mean, look, everybody's different. But I find that most people, what happens is they get frustrated here. So even if you just stalemate with him here and he tries to switch back. So that's the moment he's unscissoring his legs. You can see it here. See his leg going back? He's thinking, I'm going to go back to my knees. This isn't working out. So maybe I was unable to move his arm, but he was unable to do anything. So he kind of did a stalemate. So he's switching back. Soon as they uncross legs, just yank the armpit and they go flying. Just like that. But try this out. Leave me some comments, questions. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe buttons, please. And we'll see you back in the next one.